Hello and welcome to In Conversation with Hemali. When I was planning to begin with this channel, I had so many thoughts that came in my mind, whether this is going to work out, are people going to watch this or not. And then it came to my mind that people who get into business, what all do they go through during the planning phase and then, as they move on. And then I thought of these two gentlemen that I had met somewhere, and they are into business. And I thought, why not call them over, as my guests? And so today we have with us Mr. Javin Oza and Mr. Ravin Oza with us. They are a father and son pair. And I would like to first share a little bit about Mr. Oza. Mr. Oza is a businessman who has dedicated his life to bridge the gap between Asia and Africa in a career spanning more than 47 years. Am I right, Mr. Oza?
Yes.
Yeah. In a career spanning more than 47 years, he has been involved in international trade throughout and has focused on sourcing from Asia to fulfill the demands of the emerging African markets in the areas of education, healthcare, and agriculture. Along with him is Ravin, and Ravin is a young entrepreneur who is passionate about global business strategy and logistics. Through his education in supply chain, he is committed to grow in the field of global trade by practicing and promoting sustainable procurement policies and efficient logistics handling. Welcome, Mr. Oza and Ravin. It's such a pleasure to have you on this show.
Pleasure.
So Mr. Oza, how did this, was this a heirloom family business, or did you start the whole thing by yourself?
No, not really. But many of our family elders in late 50s and early 60s were involved with working for private companies who were in businesses of paper, printing, and like that. So somehow, it has all come back after many years. And I'm also focusing mainly on that business besides so many other activities. And as you are aware, probably, that in our community, there's not big history of business owners.
Sure.
So it's something new that we thought we can do, and we've been doing it for the last so many years.
So basically it was in the system and you gave it a nudge and a push and moved it ahead. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right.
Right, wonderful. So how did you know, that you have the right idea to begin with the business that you have? And if you don't mind, we, as we don't understand the nuances of business, can you explain in simple words exactly the work that you do?
I've been focusing mainly on business related to supply of raw materials and consumables to printing and packaging industries.
All right.
And do a lot of work for stationery products distribution to education sector, governments, corporate sectors, and various ministries. And also do a lot of printing outsourcing for them, because many of the African countries are not yet fully developed as far as these requirements go.
I understand.
And since I have big connections or big network of suppliers to do this job for me in various countries in Asia, I procure jobs from Africa, take it to Asia, and then deliver back to Africa.
So you've been a key role in the development of, of Africa, because and I do know that you have achieved a big name there as well.
I can say with a bit of pride that yes, I have helped the printing and packaging industry grow to a great extent at least in Mozambique.
Congratulations to you. Yes. So Mr. Oza, what has been your success story? Did you have any difficulties, in getting where you are?
It comes from a very weird kind of situation that not having been able to, achieve my university bachelor degree in the regulation time, I had to do something. And that something was, completing and taking up certification and diploma courses in export import management, business and commerce. So that gave me the idea that this is probably the activity that I want to pursue over a longer time.
Right.
And it developed from a very small, procuring orders on a commission basis from one of the buyers in Africa and supplying them with material from Far East.
All right.
And that's how
So,
it has taken off over the years.
so if I understand correctly, what you mean is that you had, difficulties in getting, the certification and the right things to basically grow into the business that you are in?
Uh, the degree part, I mean, the normal university degree, I mean, education, I was not a very big fan of education, normal education.
Yeah.
So, it took me some time to reappear for various exams, not having been able to pass it in the first or second attempt.
Fantastic. So Mr. Rosa,
So
basically you
we
are
had
a
some time
person.
during those exams.
Wow. So, Mr. Oza, basically, you are one
Yeah,
person who decided never to give up. And here is where you are. Congratulations to you.
yeah.
Hey, Ravin,
Thank you.
taking up the challenge of an established business and to make it grow further ahead must have been a tough job. And especially when it comes from the dad to the son, I'm sure you had your special times. And what kind of challenges did you face?
Well, to begin with, it's difficult for me to just come in and sort of take over what he was doing. Obviously, I had new ideas, some of which panned out, others which backfired. But that's where you learn.
Yes, of
And the
course.
challenge I think I would say is that it was new because he gave me a lot of independence, responsibility when I was really young after graduating. But that was really tough for his associates and our customers to comprehend because suddenly a young guy was with no experience was liaising with them, and I had a completely different approach from what he had. So I
Sure.
had to be more patient. I had to adapt to how he used to work. The customers had to adapt to my style of working as well. So I think those were the few things that were a bit challenging in the beginning.
Yeah, wonderful. So basically, Mr. Rosa allowed new ideas to come in and take over. Wonderful.
Absolutely, yes. That's the reason we have our latest office, export office in India. Something that we've never done in the past. We've never worked with India, but just in January we launched our export office
All
to
right. So,
begin
so
exports out of India.
wow. So, Ravi, where all do you have your offices?
Mauritius, Mozambique, and now India.
Fantastic, lovely. So, at any point, Ravi, did you feel like that I want to give up on this and I want to go for a 9 to 5 kind of a job?
Oh yes, absolutely. Because when
Did?
you don't get the desired results, when your efforts there's nothing to show for them, that's when you start thinking if you're doing something wrong or maybe you can do something better. But
Understand.
it's good to just explore that when you have those ideas and get it out of your system so that you realize that what you're in fact doing is correct and you just need to persevere more and go after it.
All right. So Mr. Rosa or Ravin, if any of you could answer this, how did you build up the team, your team?
Ravin can answer this.
Sure. Wonderful.
I think it's in terms of the team, something that both of us we've always agreed on is that we do not prioritize qualifications or skills. We prioritize the character of a person that we're working with.
Oh, that's
And
the,
even though we're employing someone, it doesn't have to be an employee-employer relationship. It has to be more of us, behaving like colleagues, not as a boss and an employee.
that's such a
So
beautiful
what
thing that you
happens is
just.
that skills can be taught or developed over time, but if you don't have a person with a clean character from the beginning in your organization, then that is something that you don't have any control over. So we'd rather prioritize on that, some of those
Sure.
aspects as opposed to hiring MBAs who already know everything. That's what we
Right.
say in Gujarat.
Oh,
Here,
that's such a. Sorry, please go
sorry.
ahead, Mr. Rosa.
Here, I would like to add that even after 23 years, we have our staff working in Mozambique, even in our absence, in the sense that
Wow.
they joined us when those boys were like 16 to 18 years of age, and they've been all throughout with us and looking
Okay.
after our work. When we are not there, they are free to take up something else. When we go there, they just want to come back and start working with us again.
Well, that speaks volumes about the way you treat your employees. And it was a beautiful
Yeah.
thing that Ravin just mentioned, that you guys look at the character more than qualifications. And in today's days, this is so very, very important. Thank you so much. And hey, can either of you share an anecdote on something that took you off your feet, while you were working right from the start till now?
Yeah, yes, you can go.
I will just mention a very small
Yes.
thing. In countries like Nigeria and Congo and
Mm-hmm.
even Mozambique, I've had so many different and funny experiences. But
Okay.
one stands out very much is, my initially unsuccessful efforts to market Crompton Greaves brand of ceiling fans in Nigeria, because I
Okay.
had a huge competition from Chinese brands. And when I actually introduced the product, I had the stock in the warehouse, took some time to sell. When I showed it to the distributors, the way they compared the two products, by
Oh,
just picking up and saying, okay, this Chinese one is heavy, this one is very good, your product not good. And they drop it.
wow. Wow.
Only after some time, when they started to see the performance. And initially, when I told them that these are long-lasting fans, when you
Yeah.
install in your house, maybe your grandchildren will use it. Then the reaction was, why should I buy for my grandchildren? They
Oh
will
dear.
buy their own.
That is very interesting. Wow. So then finally, what is
That's
it
how
that convinced them?
I think overall, the performance and not needing to repair it and spares and availability of quality certification and all that. So finally, it became the number one selling fan in Nigerian market.
How lovely is that? Fantastic. So, Ravin, we would like you to, share a message for our young budding professionals on how to be a good leader. Of course, you did mention about, how you look at the character of an individual. But apart from that, what are other things that makes a good leader?
I think to be a good leader, it's important to first see someone or have someone in front of you that you can look up to and learn from. In my case, I had my father, so I think the best way to do is be open to learning, be open to observing, bide your time, and discipline. It's the most important, because the moment you observe and you see how successful leaders are behaving, you implement those practices in your own career. And once you have discipline, then I think you don't really have to focus on being a good leader. People will just look at you and try to implement the same thing that has worked for you. So I think it's
Wonderful.
important to be open to learning. You're never too old to learn or to get better.
I understand. Thank you so much. And I'm sure my viewers would take away a big lesson from there. Yes, Mr. Rosa, you wanted to say something?
Yeah, I just wanted to share with you the only advice I gave Ravin when he wanted to start work.
Yes.
It's very important to develop 9 to 5 working culture. Whether
Right.
you're doing your own business, whether you're handling somebody else's business, or whether you are working for somebody. It's very important that you want to get up early in the morning, get ready, and be motivated to go to work. And nine to
Right.
five, when you are there, focus on what you're doing. One subject comes to you only one time and doesn't need to come back to your table again. This is all I told him,
So
and thereby I think the youngsters also can learn from this.
wonderful. So a disciplined attitude as well as an attitude
Very
which is open to learning.
That's
Fantastic. It
right.
has been so nice talking to both of you. One with a lot of experience, one climbing up on the experience ladder. And apart from, I would also like to mention that apart from, being good businessmen, they have a lot of other, things that they take along with them. Like Mr. Rosa, he is very fond of wildlife and he has amazing stories to share on wildlife in the African jungles. Someday I'm going to call you again on the show to share all that also with us.
Sure.
It's about inspiring others, and even those kind of stories inspire people like me who want to travel. So it's going to inspire many others who would love to travel and experience that kind of um, travel experience. In case of Ravin, Ravin is very fond of cars. And definitely, I'm going to call you once again to share your interest in cars also with us. To my viewers, it is basically about discipline and believing in yourself and being open to learning that that helps us to move that one little step ahead. And I'm sure we are all, after watching these stories, going to be inspired enough to just nudge ourselves and go ahead. Don't forget to like and subscribe to this channel, and have a great day. Thank you very much, Mr. Oza and Ravin, for being with us.
Pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you.